Whoa, what was that?
That is the LOGIQ AIRQ by ReadyLift. And we're gonna show you how to install those bad boys. We're gonna go over the install procedure for installing the LOGIQ suspension airbags. This is a 24 F250. It had overload springs. We're gonna go step by step, show you guys how to do this.
Off with this. Where's your bump? Always need this. Especially when you live in New Jersey. Yeah, so you want the contour of the axle
Lined up with
the
bolt holes.
on both the centering pins.
So you gotta make sure you hold it so you can pull that centering pin. Now instructions say that you can use the other centering pin for when you have overload springs like I do, but it's a process to clamp these springs and then to get everything out of alignment. It's a pain. So we're just gonna leave ours long.
You can let go.
And now that's done.
We're gonna hold this for support. Never too much support.
Yeah, when you're dealing with the rear of these springs, always want to have good support. PB Blaster, truck's new, but just to make sure. And now real quick before you start this, how do you want to do it? Slow, right?
Yeah, nice and even. Nice and even.
Now that they're off, you're gonna pull the bottom carriage down and move up here. And we're gonna remove the 2 U-bolts. And then you wanna make sure that you wanna, I'm just gonna follow this here.
Do we reuse that?
Yeah, we're reusing this part.
Okay.
So we're just gonna put this aside and that line goes towards the back. And then overload spring comes off. And then this spacer does come off too. So now everything is disassembled and we can start bolting on the new air spring. Two closest holes together, or we're gonna put these big 5/8 bolts in next. Already pre-greased, ready to go. Lock washer, flat washer, goes in from the back, goes in the back of the frame. Next thing is we're gonna hang this up on the frame, and definitely need 2 people to do this. It's not light.
While you're holding the camera too.
Yeah, while I'm holding the camera. What's nice is there is a frame support.
You gotta pull that plastic out. You gotta get it straight.
Yeah. See how the plastic gets in your way? Yep, there we go. And we're gonna cut that plastic and show you how to do that next. But right now we're gonna tighten this to the frame. Get them real snug.
All right.
Go.
I get to use my new electric ratchet.
The Milwaukee power.
And we'll finish it off with a real wrench. All right, that's on you. Then you gotta put the spacer in there too. Grease as always. Collar.
Flat washer.
Lock washer. Now I gotta get my gun.
And what you want to do is while you're tightening these, you want to make sure you hold that centering pin in the
Pull
leaves.
it down.
Otherwise it'll end up being stuck in between the springs. Now what we're gonna do is install the U-bolts back over the carriage. Also 2 people to get this in.
All right.
It's in there. So that's where your spacers go in. Take up some of that space. One important step here is to make sure that this is all centered above your axle. We're just snugging everything down before we tighten and torque it. Now we're going to get the torque wrench and do the final torquing. Hang the bolts?
Yeah, hanging the bolts first.
And they give you little slots to put them in. And then what you need to do is pull down on this part. That's as far as I can go. We got to lift up the rear a little. Go ahead and lift the rear. All right, now what we're gonna do is get the bolts in. You can see it's pretty close now. And once we get the bolts in, we gotta make sure that this is dead center. So now these plates go on. And you got a washer and a castle nut.
It's not a castle nut. It's a nylon locking nut.
A nylock. A castle nylock.
Start it. Just hold that up. Just hold it up. So you have like a video stand, so you don't have to
I
sit.
have the gimbal, but I forgot it though. Okay. Now that they're started, we're going to tighten this up just a little bit so we can center on that centering pin. So now once we tighten up this, just a tiny bit, we can center. As you can see right now, it's off center.
So what do you need, a hammer?
Yeah, just a mallet. So we're just looking for this to be center.
That looks pretty good. Am I wrong?
Yeah, that's good there. Yep.
You're good, right?
Yep. Now that that's done, we're gonna go ahead and tighten up the bottom 4 bolts. And your final step here is to put the bump stop on. We'll bump stop up. So here we got the compressor unit all mounted. There's my fitting that'll go back to the back shocks. I got it as high as I can up here. And what I'm gonna do is cut those brackets down a little bit lower so they're not sticking down. I didn't show the install on the video. It was too tough to try to hold everything, but you get the idea. If you wanna look, I'm right underneath the passenger door. So we've got a trim. modification of the wheel well,
Just pop them in.
and then we're gonna pop these two last things in. Just wanted to show you the final wiring. Soldered all the connections, went to the positive post, and protected all my wiring. Looks clean.